Hi everybody, it's Nick. I hope you are staying well and safe. Wanted to talk today, there's several things. The menopause, becoming a crone, homeschooling, the fact our environment, our evolution are out of step, lockdown, just the perfect storm, isn't it? So I have 3 children, 2 teenagers, and my daughter is 10 years old. We are now back to homeschooling. I'm, even without the menopause, it's not something I would be particularly delighted about at all. It's not my forte. It's not my strength. And here I am in a situation. I think, as I've always said, I don't think the menopause necessarily brings. Well, yeah, I'm hesitating because this is not strictly true. So I need to be careful about how I say this. Yeah, the menopause does bring some new things for sure, but the menopause also amplifies some things that are already there. So I read somewhere really interesting about the menopause and the crone phase is that in more ancient times and in more in more cultures where they live more akin with nature, one of the things that women going into menopause might do is take what they call a crone's year out, where women actually take themselves off for some peace, some self-reflection, some silence. Oh my God, how I crave silence since I've gone into the menopause. And they can actually just take that time for themselves. And the thing that I definitely find, which is really challenging, is I had children later in life. So my children still need me to be that maternal. I mean, children, your kids always need you however old they get. But my kids are still at that age where they need me as a full-on mum. And I'm at the stage in my evolution where I've gone into the menopause. Now, in years gone by, I'd have probably had children at a younger age. So by the time I went into the menopause, they wouldn't be so dependent on me. Therefore, it would be easier to have the silence, the self-reflection, the time to myself. And I think killer whales are a classic example. They actually become the leaders of their pod once they go through the menopause, because they have the time to focus on a purpose other than childbearing. And they are very wise and have lots of experience. So they actually take charge of the pod and lead them. And here we are, with this massive amplification of all of these challenges where I have no silence, no time to myself, very little space to myself. We are all in the house all of the time. The kids are doing homeschooling. And today is day 3, and honestly I've already lost my shit this morning, and it's day 3. So for any of the parents out there doing homeschooling, if you are frustrated, resentful, feeling trapped, feeling overwhelmed, just generally feeling pissed off with it all, and you're thinking to yourself it's only day 3, honestly, believe me, I completely get it. What I would say is, last time, because I vlog a lot, so one of the things that's quite good, it's a bit of a diary because you can look back at how you felt. Last time we were in lockdown, I think it was far worse. The first few days, that initial transition and adjustment period was far worse because, you're adjusting to it, i.e. I'm adjusting to it, but the kids are also adjusting to it. And there's some pain points that you go through, and then you kind of get to some kind of equilibrium. So, for example, my boys are both on a gaming ban tonight because they couldn't, despite being 13 and 14 years old, apparently they couldn't get their shit together, get themselves up, bathed, breakfast, and sat at their desk ready for their first team calls on time. Apparently that was beyond their capability this morning, and it was beyond my patience to put up with that. So I think we have to, I think it's really important to have boundaries, and even more so when we're in this situation, particularly with the menopause, because I know that if I don't have some silence and some time to myself and some headspace, I find it really, really difficult to cope. And it's like, this volcano builds up inside of you, and that is the amplification. And it's the same with the anxiety that I feel also with the menopause, and the tiredness. It's everything really. I get just so much more tired. I get a lot more anxious about things. My patience is so much less. And to be honest, I was never that patient anyway, but honestly, it's so much less. My capacity for putting up with, I feel, when all 3 of my children are wanting my attention at the same time, or asking me a question, or trying to talk at me at the same time, I'm really overwhelmed. I'm really, really overwhelmed. The dinner table is a great example. We always sit down at night together and have a family meal. And when everybody is talking to me at the same time, I literally just want to bang my head on the table. I'm just like, oh my God, just one at a time, one at a time. It's like a gun going off at me. And I'm sure I used to be far better at managing all of this. And the other big thing I noticed is background noise really bothers me. I really can't focus, particularly if I'm writing or focusing on something. It's a really, really big deal. We've just had some building work done, and one of the things we've spent a lot of time on is soundproofing, doors and that between rooms, because it really, really bothers me, much more so. So this is a really full vlog, isn't it, of lots of different aspects. And why am I doing this? I think it's to say that we are for everybody, not just menopausal women, but for everybody. It's a very, very difficult and challenging time, and everybody is having their different challenges for different reasons. And I just think that particularly for those women who I'm speaking to going through the menopause, I mean, that's what this vlog's about, right? The things that are amplified in normal life are then amplified again for us in lockdown. And I don't think there is a one size fits all really easy answer. I think you just have to be really, really honest with yourself, and don't beat yourself up about the fact that certain things are getting to you. Don't think about whether they should or shouldn't, and don't look, for fuck's sake, don't look at how other people are managing and start comparing yourself, because that's just not going to help at all. So I found, one is I just, really, really small steps, no big ambitions for any day, and really clear boundaries, particularly around having some headspace, having some time to myself, having, mutual respect within the household, not feeling, resentful and put upon, like I'm doing all the cooking, I'm doing all the shitty jobs and all the fun stuff. That's no good, because everything gets amplified. Really reaching out and talking to people about, even if they sound like irrational fears when they come out of your head, I just don't hold them in. I think it's really important to let it all flow. So reaching out and having those conversations, and just being really, listening to your body and listening to yourself, and not judging it. Let's just stop judging ourselves. It's okay. In a normal, more natural environment, the circumstances would be very different, okay, and therefore we would be dealing with our menopause very differently. So we've just got to do what we can with what we have and cut ourselves some slack. I hope that's of help, and I hope everybody is staying safe, taking care of themselves, reaching out for help when you need it, being honest with yourself, being honest with others, and just, letting your stuff flow, and just give yourself a break. Just take the next best step and give yourself a break. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.